What's good, man? It's OG Drip, man. This is a channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. And check this out, man. Today we're going to be talking about manifesting, because I know one thing about it is everybody want to manifest, but, sometimes we end up manifesting or getting into a situation that we didn't want to be in. Whether the manifesting was trying to bring in a person, whether the manifesting was trying to bring in a thing, or whether the manifesting was trying to bring in a place. It could have been you wanting a new building and you wanted it super bad, or you wanted to be in a relationship super bad, or you want it to be, whenever it comes down to something that you have a passion towards, which is what made you want to drive it here anyways, right? So when it comes down to dimensions, we got to be very careful, because you have the ninth, the sixth, and the third dimension, which is the ways that we bring in things when it's time to manifest, right? So if you're not subconsciously aligned or being at your spiritual self, you're not bringing things in from the ninth dimension. So you got to be careful when it's something from the sixth dimension, right? Because the sixth dimension represents what we're paying attention towards. So sometimes the way that you're paying attention towards something either going to get you burnt or either going to make you drown into something, right? Whether you're going to get burnt trying to get it and be put in a situation where now everything is not working out. Like now the house, to come to find out that you kept trying to get, or the building have leaks and stuff and you can't get it. The plumbing costs more than what you expected and you ain't got the funds for it. So now it's like you bought the building for no reason. Or now it's like, or something could play out like, you coming in, like you trying to get with a person, right? And now when you get with this person, you find out this person lazy, this person not who you thought they was, the way that you seen them and stuff like that. So it hit you unexpected. And now you're like, damn, this is not what I wanted to be in. This is not where I wanted to be at. So sometimes when it comes down to this manifesting stuff, dog, you really got to be careful what you ask for. Because I know it done been a lot of men, it done been a lot of women out there, and it done been vice versa and all, that seen someone and was like, damn, I really want that person. And then when you ended up getting that person, to kind of find out you ain't really want that person as much as you thought, right? Because at the end of the day, sometimes that's exactly what it be. Sometimes when I had made a video, right, and it was talking about having marriage before sex, right? And was talking about how the proper way to doing that. And it has nothing to do with you with others, right? When it's talking about just you interacting within your own mind. So when it comes down to that, you have to understand that even you manifested your life into a past life to even get here now. Karma, fears, and desires is what get us here in the beginning, right? So when we come from things like that, you have to remember these are the same things that'll get you washed up. So when we're looking at karma, think about the 12th house, the Pisces energy, the water. So when I say drowning in emotions, sometimes it's like a person could subconsciously be drowning, right? Where it's like an inverted world. So what the things they're paying attention to consciously is what they're actually drowning in. It is not actually a spiritual thing, but due to this, it's affected them so much that it's hard for them to even be spiritual. It's hard for them to activate the upside of their chakras, right? It's almost like if you ever watch any of them animes or any of them damn people that do like that certain martial arts where it knock off like a circulation where you can't use your arm or you go to sleep and stuff like that. It's like a circuit break, like knocking off chakras. So it's like that. Get what I'm saying? It's like automatically doing that. It's dividing a line to nothing past the sixth dimension, right? Because you don't even know if it's actually heavenly bought, right? That you just looking at it and you, because you see it and want it, you start putting fire, you start putting water in it. And then next thing you know, you have this blue flame that you're interested in. And when you start gasping towards it, right? You start thinking about when you get it, what'll happen. So now you start actually bringing that in. So now when you start bringing in your earth, now it's kind of like you brought in this stuff on purpose, whether you regardless if you knew what you was doing or not. So at the end of the day, this is why I be saying, bro, you got to be spiritually responsible. Is at the end of the day, everybody was out here, bro. We was straight. But when religion came in, it really messed people's mind up. Even to the fact that when I see people make manifest videos, they're not really talking about stuff. So they probably have people manifesting and doing love spells and stuff and bringing things in and buildings and stuff that people didn't want in their life necessarily. But they thought that's what they wanted. Because not saying that a person don't know what they want, right? But you don't know the difference between wanting something bad and doing something out of arrogance and doing something out of ego. And then it says waiting, being patient, and waiting for how the things to roll out so things can roll out in your favor. So when God's saying being patient in the Bible, this is why it's like one of the things, patience is key. So we have to understand sometimes when it comes to speed, that sometimes we got to be careful with that. So sometimes, especially if you're subconscious, you could still being spiritual, you still have battles every day where something trying to get you. So that's not saying that you're not spiritual because you got God. But the thing is saying that is, this is what happens. This is when the ego versus the spirit kick in. And a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people bring in things, or a lot of us bring in things from an ego perspective or a hurt perspective. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing I'm saying with the fire and the water. So when we looking at the thing that'll break you, is like saying the willpower that you have, or saying some people get the willpower to do more because of this situation. So at the end of the day, it depending on your situation, you can still see how it plays out. You can see how, okay, damn, I did started wanting the building too much, and I knew I couldn't really afford it, but I already tried to pinch everything together. But you got to think, now, not saying that's wrong all the time, because there's going to be times that if you was bringing it in through God, right, where you're not letting yourself get too emotionally bound, where you're not creating too much of thoughts, when you're not creating too much of emotions, because these Adams and these Eves is having sex with each other. They're starting to bring in newborns, new thoughts, new feelings, new emotions. So when you're looking at the 1, the masculine energy, the 2, the feminine energy, the 3, the child, the understanding energy, however you want to look at it, you're starting to see all these things be formed, and they're starting to come together. So they're starting to make out something. So what you don't realize is like creating a cobweb, right, of a whole bunch of things that you didn't necessarily want to happen, but due to you wanting this to happen so bad, you look right at that only and left all that in the dark. So now when it comes to putting the light over there, it's like, oh damn, I didn't know all this was gonna happen. So when it comes down to shadow work, that's the reason why I like to tell people all the time, don't just get lost into the light, because the light is what you're paying attention to. So this is what your mind is get aware to. So even as being brought into this world, you either coming from the ninth, or you either coming from the spirit realm or the mind, right? If you don't came through multiple times. So when I'm saying that, basically what I'm just saying is, you're looking at a cycle of a repeating thing of, you have to know what you're focused on. So sometimes your mind can change, right? But your spirit is never going to change. It's going to be who it is. You're going to be who you are regardless. It's supposedly, right? But when you have your mind playing tricks and stuff like that, which is trying to make you develop something because of what you don't realize that you already done created, you start walking into yourself. You start not being able to accept things the way that they are. So you might even get mad at a person that you got this stuff and now it ain't going the way that you wanted it to go. It seems like now you can't enjoy it, or now you can't ever even get to it. Or like I said, with the building or something, now you done got the building and it's got holes in it, and the building costs more to repair than what you're probably going to make in a year. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that, man. Even with a love life, now you done got a relationship and you wasn't even really ready for a relationship. You thought that you was able to have the standards to be able to, go through things and be able to understand that person. And now you're like, damn, I did say I wanted this type of person. I did say I wanted a person with a lot of money. And now I got a person that got a strong hustle game. And they got a lot of money. But god damn, the way that they do things, I don't really approve of. You know what I'm saying? And that's just your personal thing. That's not saying whether it's right or wrong at this moment. But at this moment, for you, it's actually wrong already, because before that situation even came up, you was already wrong because the things that you paid attention to and the way that you went to putting thoughts in. So that's why I like to tell people, keep your thoughts clear. You don't want a whole bunch of vines and now you're trying to plant seeds, because those seeds is not going to grow right? Or they might have some type of defect where in a term of earth, we'll say, oh, where it don't have enough, what's the stuff that keep it green and junk? I can't think of the name of it, but y'all get what I'm saying. So it might not have enough of that ingredient, so the plant looking real brown, like it's about to die out early. So, and esoterically speaking, you got things that you're trying to set and get growing, and at the same time, you already got stuff that's damn near impossible to get through, aka vines that you never even got past. So when a person or anything that's going on, even if you're in a love life, the person trying to talk to you, you're never going to be able to see that person right. You're going to always prejudge. You're going to be unrelatable. So that's going to keep a rocky relationship. So further as you breaking in a relationship with manifestation, it's going to be a rocky relationship. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to be able to be actual clear when you're judging what's going on in a relationship. So that's another thing, right? Where unclearance will come back in, and it'll show you once again your eyes wasn't clear. So at the end of the day, you got to be careful what you ask for. So that's why I like to say that, right? But then when it come down to you bringing in what we did a person already. We done did a place. So now we're going to just do like a thing, right? Of saying like, I'm just trying to get this shoot, like I was just breaking out like a car or something, right? Or I'm trying to get this scooter, this dirt bike, anything like that, bro. Sometimes when we're trying to put so much things into something, we done got it and went crazy. For example, you done got a motorcycle, you wanted this 1400 Kawasaki so bad, but you never even rode a 600, right? But the point is now you finally got the money. So you feel like now you got the money and stuff, that this is the access to tell you, hey, I got it. I can do it now. I done brought in the money. I said if I get the money, I was going to do this. But you necessarily didn't realize in the beginning when you wanted to do it, it was all out of spite of you just wanted to prove that you could ride a 1400 full speed. Or, you know what I'm saying? But basically your starting points was already incorrect from within yourself, that you was like already not noticing, hey, maybe riding a motorcycle is a lot dangerous. Hey, maybe if I did this to get this motorcycle traded in my car, maybe when it rain, I ain't think about that dang, I'm stuck now, or anything. So when it come down to these breakdowns, we could be here all day breaking them down and getting down to it. But what I'm just trying to show you is they use tactics like taking the light, aka the sun, and then take your mind, right? And then what we don't realize is instead of us living the holy trinity, which is the three layers of how I like to say it, you got earth, you got the mind, which you got earth, you got the body, you got the mind, you got the the light, you got the spirit, which is the top part, which is the last, which is the, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. They wrap it all together, man. Sometimes I be trying to get out certain stuff without losing my main point, but still sticking in so I can show you guys how I'm coming up with the concepts. So I'm showing you how I use the light, the mind, and showing you how they take a mind of a person and make it transition towards something, aka make them pay attention towards it and make them pay attention a certain way that they don't realize. So sometimes just by us being attracted to something, we don't realize what we're bringing in with that attraction. So it could make something bitter that ain't even supposed to be bitter from the beginning. So at the end of the day, we can make spoiled milk. Instead of turning wine to water into wine, now you turn the water into spoiled milk. You feel what I'm saying? And that's just like saying an esoteric note. So at the end of the day, you want to bring in the things that you want actually plentiful. Whether you got to be patient about it. Whether you might have to do second thoughts. Maybe you have to jump out of your thoughts. Maybe you need to stop thinking about it and see how it work, see how it flow, right? Because sometimes we start putting too many thoughts. Now you got too many atoms and not enough Eves to support the man, right? Where now these thoughts are just going crazy and there's no way you can stop them. No matter how you feeling, no matter what a person doing around you, now your thoughts is controlling you, right? Or you can have too many damn Eves, right? Whereas too many women, this man he ain't got enough money to support all them women, right? Man married to 7 women. Esoterically speaking, you going through a thing where you had this one thought like, oh, I want to do this. Now you got 15 feelings and they all arguing. 7 feelings, 6 feelings, 3 feelings, and they all arguing. They all at a disagreement. AKA your feelings is telling you one thing and then your feelings switching to the other. So they're just showing you how not only your mind changing that way, but the feminine side of your mind changing as well. Like it could show you how your mind could change as a whole, how your mind could change on just the masculine side, how your mind could just change on the feminine side, how it could be toxic on one side, how it could be pure on one side, how you got to have it at the same time. You got to have that eye clear. You got to have the whole circle, that whole thing at the top layers. You want to shave it. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to that, you want to keep, like just say for instance, your garden clean. You want to keep vines from out of there. You want to keep the fact that your seeds can now grow without actually being too close to each other, right? When you got too many thoughts, too many seeds and stuff close to each other. And now this one here trying to get roots and these roots tying into these thoughts and these two things ain't have nothing to do with each other. So now when you're trying to talk, you're talking about 17 different subjects, or when you're expressing yourself or just trying to just even in your deep feelings within your mind, you're hearing 17 different arguments. You know what I'm saying? You're hearing 17 different dudes yelling at you in your head. So at the end of the day, you got to be careful with when you manifesting things. So it get real deep, man. So when we breaking down these things, you can see that it derives off the mind. If it was coming from God, aka if it was coming from the spirit, it would be cleansed, right? Where you might get that building for even cheaper than you had thought about it being. Where you may have got, dang, I thought this dude was just good or this girl was just good. Damn, and they came extra. I didn't know they liked to cook my favorite food. Oh, I didn't know they like to go to my favorite restaurant. Or I didn't know all this extra stuff come with it. Or I didn't know they felt the same way about kids or whatever. So when it come down to that, or even a building, even a thing, right, where it was like, damn, I bought this car and I ain't even know It had a surround system. I didn't even know it had a backup cam. It came with stuff more than what you even asked for, right? So that's why when God be saying, if you give God a little bit, bro, you're going to get way more in return. So it's not saying he hasn't saying, you know what I'm saying, masculine energy or nothing at this sense right now. I'm just saying it's God. But sometimes, you know, being brought up, it had like that subconscious junk that be playing on you, even with me, right? Where I might say he, but I just mean God itself, right? Or just saying how it's been. But nowadays, if you're going to explain nothing, the term of sometimes it catch people too, where it might came out my mouth as he, and that turns a lot of people, and a lot of people that probably leave in Christianity right to their awareness, because they'd already been planted there before. So now it probably attract them a little bit more. So when it comes out of that thing, we can see that it could also be plentiful. So don't think that I'm just saying that everything you're manifesting is coming from a negative end, but I'm telling you, if you manifest it through God, bro, it's going to have nothing but positivity, and nothing going to be able to stop it. It's going to be powerful. So when they say don't mess with God, bro, it's a powerful force. It's true. So when it comes down to things like that, it always is going to bounce back of just saying, hey, you have to be spiritually responsible to understand it was either your mind. It wasn't you necessarily, but it was you, because you allowed this to come in, because you paid attention to it. You put light over there, so it was able to get growth to it. It was able to start building up a vine. If you would have never put no damn fertilizer on them vines out there, they would have never outgrew your plants. And now you can't think clearly. That's all I'm basically breaking down. So I could break it down on more than just a plant term. You could break it down with explaining a car. You could break it down anyway when you're spiritual. Like, seriously, it don't matter about all of that. So, like, when you're spiritual, you're able to bring in logic that way, not bringing in logic and having it like off of somebody else's stuff of what they created. But if you're able to be spiritual and go back to yourself, which is everybody's able to do, bro, and not everybody able to do in this lifetime, though. So let me rephrase that. But everybody can do this. So they're just saying nobody is necessarily chosen. That's what I'm getting at. So at the end of the day, don't be jealous. Don't be hatred towards the things I even got to say. Like, I come to these videos, bro, I got to leave everything behind, bro, because I understand how important this is. I'm taking a real responsibility by talking about not what a person's going to do, not shooting a person, right? But even deeper, by talking about what's going to happen with a person after life. But you know what I mean? But when you know what you're doing it for, and you know, you ain't got to fight about it, no none of that. It ain't no belief, no none of that. This shit is just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know you're God. You God soldier. You got to go out there and go ahead and do what you got to do. God ain't in this world, so you got to show them that you in it for a reason. And you're willing to get out of it by fighting it good enough. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to break down it. But at the end of the day, this still goes back to even explaining certain parts in the Bible of saying, hey, don't let your giants, your man, the things that you want, the desires you have, outweigh, take over the world, destroy the world, aka destroy the mindset that you had to get from the beginning. So now, while you getting this stuff, you probably done destroyed everything around you. You could not manifest that way. Now you ain't even got it, period. You done destroyed the way that you could have got to it, the way that you was getting to work. You done killed that through the person. The way you was getting to work, you done blew up the car. The way you was getting to work, now the building done, so now you got to find a different way to work, and now you ain't got the same amount of income. All right, it could be the other ways to get destroyed. So at the end of the day, if it's coming through God, you're going to see the plentifulness, and you're going to know, because spiritually, you did the right thing. Spiritually, you didn't allow sex until marriage. You get what I'm saying? Until you knew that it was God approved. So at the end of the day, let's get it. So if I don't care what it is, it might be a God approved scripture message. Like, hey, I'm meant to be a scripture to talk to another. It could be any of those things. But at the end of the day, that's what all possibilities is with God. But anytime we start putting all possibilities in with this earth and these mans, these Satans, these Lucifers, these devils, these whatever you want to look at, these Jesuses, these whatever, because it's all talking about getting stuck into a certain mindset. So each religion have a certain mind. Each point of the world has a certain mind to see the world. So the world seeing the world different from each part of it. Sound like a whole goddamn, what I'm gonna say, a worldwide fight. Gotta be careful with your words on YouTube. Y'all know that. But anyways, man, yeah, I wanted to break that down. Hopefully some people needed it, especially right now. By the sun being a Sag, you know what I'm saying? You got to be careful with the things you plan. Be careful with the things you're paying attention to, Because if you're paying attention to something you want real bad, it will burn you and cause you to burn bridges. Because remember, when we talk about the ninth house, this is on the opposite side of the crust. So this is talking about the other 180 degrees. So how you're interacting with others. So you don't want to be end up interacting with others where you're burning bridges, and now a person don't want to help you, and that was the way that you're supposed to actually got somewhere. So at the end of the day, you can't do it by yourself. Dream work, you know what I'm saying? Teamwork equals dream work. So at the end of the day, sometimes this is how your dreams got to work. So when you look at Pisces, the dream, that is a 12th house. That's how you're interacting with others. So at the end of the day, you're not finna go around and want your life to be peaceful and you could beef with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that shout out to Charleston White, but it's because he got a lot of points. But that's the only thing that, you know, where from I'm like, damn, you know, if you knew how to direct it different. But, you know, I wouldn't mind interviewing or having a conversation or whatever with people like that at the same time. But I wouldn't mind if you didn't even have a name. Like, because sometimes now people get to that attachment. And sometimes when you attach yourself to these celebrities or whatever, it come with some fucked up baggage. And then now you got to clean all that baggage for them. And sometimes they got a real stain on them where it's not so much you can clean with, so much that you rub on you and you get smeared. But anyways, at the end of the day, that's a whole different topic. We'll talk about that another time. But anyways, man, I want to break that down. I'm going to shorten it right now because y'all, I know some people see them long videos and be like, nigga, I got stuff to do, nigga. But anyways, man, I'm out. OG Drip.